There's still a lot of life lessons that can be learned, and I'm proud of our men, proud of the resilience that they've shown, but we got a lot of football ahead of us, and so there'll be time to be focused on those things down the road. Right now, it's all about the Rose Bowl, all about beating Oregon.
I know it's hard to look, as you said, look at the big picture when you're in it right now, but this is your third Rose Bowl, and they seem to have come to you at pretty pivotal moments. Right, the first one, it's your last game before you're the head coach. The last one, a lot of these guys were freshmen and sophomores, and I know that year didn't go the way you wanted, but it was almost like this jumping off point for what this has become now. You know, is there a way you look at the third time around with this first batch of players you have now who are now older, trying to still go and accomplish at least one of the three goals you have?
I mean, I think every year and every game, you got to treat it like it's a big game. It's just the way it goes here. If you don't think it's a big game at Ohio State, I've always said try losing it. So the approach has to be consistent over time. And if you trust your process and you continue to build on the things that are that are going well and your strengths, if you can build for or fix the issues, even though a loss certainly can expose them more than a win. We always know the issues are there, but then as the season goes on, how can you continue to grow and build from those with the goal of playing your best football this time of year? And that's it. And you're counting on that foundation and that process over time resulting in a victory right here late in the season. So that's really been what the focus has been on. It'll continue to be. But I will say, the Rose Bowl is a great venue, and our guys know that, and they're excited to play in this game.
Coach, does it feel like any more of a grind this year with the expanded playoff? Like just the preparation for
the turnaround on these games have been quicker, but I like it. It keeps us in a routine, and I feel like our guys have good energy. They've been focused. They know that the discipline of staying locked in and not being distracted and being able to do the routine things routinely this time of year, fundamentals, technique, doing a great job in walkthroughs, doing a great job in your meetings. All those things are going to add up this late in the season. And typically when you watch a game, in the playoffs, you go back and you say, man, it wasn't anything extraordinary that happened. We just were really, really good at X, Y, and Z in this game. And taking care of the football, as we know, will be big. So I think the discipline of outlasting your opponent is a big part of this.
Do you think this is something that can prepare players for the NFL?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, this is definitely a longer season, and I think making sure that our guys understand how they have to take care of their body, their minds, and then their spirit of getting themselves to go play at a high level on Saturday. Yeah, it's different than it is in high school, and now it's become different in college, but there's a lot of carryover now to the NFL. I believe that, just the way that the style of the season is being played out.
Coach, looking back at...
Lastly, is that having played Oregon already, does it help to have tape on them, or does it kind of just another game?
I mean, it's the same for both teams. I've said this before, I think we're both at different places, but there's certainly a reference point there of where both teams are at, and there's going to be things that will be similar and things that will be different. Yep.
Coach, looking back at when you first took the job, you've had years under your belt as head coach at Ohio State. What would you tell him if you were able to talk to yourself from that time you took the job?
How much time do we have? I would say, it really goes down to the process. And you can make the moment too big. You can, think that, one speech can get the guys fired up, but ultimately it comes down to, on a daily basis, being consistent, making sure you have the right people in the right seats, and then constantly just staying on it and trying to be disciplined enough to outlast your opponents and to trust the process on a daily basis and focus more on that than the result. And because ultimately it comes down to our execution and making sure we're putting the right guys in the right spots.
And there's a really unique player-to-coach relationship. I talked to Trevion earlier in the season. He said, he laughed when he said it, but he said, I'm proud of Coach, and he thought it was funny because, he's a younger guy, but thinking of that relationship you have with those guys that were freshmen early on, you had them for all 4 years, and even Emeka saying that the players have held the coaches accountable at moments, but having that ability to have the open dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about these guys and these players. Always has been. They deserve all the credit, and when something doesn't go well, it's my responsibility, and I understand that. And I lean on these guys because they're mature men, and when you get around them and talk to them, you realize that they have a lot of input that's really valuable. And the easy thing to do is just say, no, this is how we're doing it. But the feedback that you get from a guy like Emeka or a guy like Jack Sawyer or Cody Simon, I mean, Lathan Ransom, I mean, these guys, they know what they're talking about, and they love their teammates, and they want to fight to keep this team together. But I think that there's a lot of lessons that have been learned throughout their career. I'm talking about the seniors, and certainly a lot of lessons this season that they are going to take with them for the rest of their lives. But now's not the time to be focused on that. We're talking about the Rose Bowl. We're talking about beating Oregon.